Never in my life would I imagine a filler sound like that to be so fucking terrifying. Welcome back once again to the Halloween playlist. We are chugging right along. The big day is next Saturday already. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. I'm having a great time reviewing some of my favorite Halloween staples with you guys, and today we are looking at a modern scary classic, Hereditary. Written and directed by Ari Aster in what was actually his first feature back in 2018. When the matriarch of the Graham family passes away, her daughter Annie, played by Toni Collette, and her grandchildren begin to unravel cryptic and increasingly terrifying secrets about their ancestry. And this film is showing them outrunning the sinister fate that they seem to have inherited. Alright, so story time, y'all. I was perfectly aware of all the buzz that Hereditary was getting when it came out a couple years back. Believe me, I worked at a movie theater for a while. I knew these things. But yeah, I saw all these reviews that were coming out, and they were universally praiseworthy. I was reading all those headlines. Hereditary is the next Psycho. This makes The Exorcist look tame by comparison. I honestly didn't really want to read too much into it a couple years back because I honestly just didn't want to set my expectations too high, because I feel like if I did that, if I held this film at such a high ceiling, there would be nowhere else to go for it but down into underwhelming territory. So as a fan of the genre, I tried so hard to keep my expectations as low as I could. I tried to keep an open mind, more importantly. I remember the first time I watched Hereditary, this was definitely after midnight for go time. And my god, that decision was... oh boy. Yeah, I don't know if it was a smart idea to watch this movie for the first time that late. But this was actually the first rewatch I had of Hereditary since I actually saw it. Yeah, I know, it's been a minute. And I made sure. I watched it earlier today when it was just broad daylight out there. I planned ahead this time. And even after this rewatch, I think Ari Aster has still crafted an instant classic here. I think this is one of the greatest modern horror masterpieces, even though it's only a couple years old at this point. A lot of people may argue that that masterpiece is Midsommar. No. Hereditary is way better than that one, for sure. I promise you, Hereditary is better. The thing about Ari Aster that I really respect, he has a great mind for the more realistic horror, similar to The Exorcist. All these events feel like something that could actually happen in real life. Even though a lot of these things may appear outlandish to the naked eye, seeing this world within the script, everything just feels so raw and so brutally realistic. The best way to describe this film is this. Hereditary feels like I'm watching a nightmare. And that drive home, after the first time I watched it, it was just so uncomfortable. I felt like I was still living within that world and still living in that nightmare. Just an indescribable feeling that I had. But I'll tell you what, rewatching this movie earlier today is when it hit me. My body felt really numb watching a lot of these scenes. Almost like I was being put to sleep. And that's not in a bad way. I'm not saying that Hereditary is boring at all in that facet. But you know how when you're going to sleep, you feel parts of your body, like your legs, they start to go numb after you lay there for a little bit? And I was sitting up on this rewatch, so that should be saying something. Again, it felt like I was watching a nightmare unfold right before my eyes. And I really respect that Ari Aster doesn't overly rely on jump scares to really terrify his viewers. The things he does in this movie to scare us, man, guys, this movie is a lot. There's a lot of scenes that are still ingrained into my mind, especially involving young Millie Shapiro as Charlie, the daughter. Excellent performance, by the way. There's a lot of moments with this character that I'm just... They leave me speechless, guys. I'm never gonna forget these scenes. There is a certain event that occurs about halfway through this film. If you guys have seen this, you guys will know what I'm talking about involving Charlie. And this is gonna bring me to something that I think Aster does really well. We see something horrific happen on screen, and then he'll cut to a character like Alex Wolff. Again, incredible in the movie. He'll cut to his face, and he'll stay there for a really, really long time. And we see a lot happening behind Alex Wolff's eyes in that scene specifically, just coming to grips with what's happened. It always just feels like, do I want to look yet? No, I don't want to look yet. Do I want to? No, nope, not yet. Like, you really feel the guilt and the tension just building up inside of him. I mean, even though the shit that happened was an accident, you really feel the guilt. Alex Wolff, like I said, excellent performance in this movie. You guys all probably remember him from Naked Brothers Band fame. Man, this is different from that. What about you, Mom? She didn't want to go to the party. So why was she there? Ah, so good with all his material in this movie. Oh my god. And that's my favorite scene in the movie, by the way. The dinner scene. The scary shit that I get from this movie can really be exemplified with that one scene. It's the family drama there. The tension between mother and son. It isn't even necessarily the paranormal stuff, which is really cool, or even the ritualistic stuff in this film. It is the raw, emotional family trauma that really gets me. This is a family that is dealing with tragic loss throughout. And the tension that builds from that is just so... chef's kiss. Yes. Gabriel Byrne's character, the father, trying so desperately to sew that tension together and bring harmony to his household. So good. Such meaty character work he gets to delve into, and he kills it. Now, obviously, speaking of killing it, Toni Collette is so good in this movie that the Academy just deliberately ignored her, because I feel like they knew if she was nominated, they felt like she would have won in a landslide. And we all know the Academy's feelings about scary movies, right? Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know if that was actually the case. But seriously, this was such an incredible Oscar-worthy turn from Toni Collette, in my opinion. The best performance of her already storied and accomplished career. She is so devastated throughout this entire film. Again, such raw emotional range for her to explore, and she does so beautifully. I mean, what else is there really to say, guys? Hereditary is a genius work of horrific art. There are things you can nitpick with this movie, of course, but I honestly didn't really find any issues on this rewatch. It is so unsettling. I don't know how many times I'm going to end up rewatching Hereditary in my life. I do know it's a film that I do want to analyze further, but that feeling is just so icky every time I watch it. I don't know. That may have been the goal with this movie, but it is scary to the nth degree. Unforgettable, to say the least. I'm going to give Hereditary its well-deserved A+. But here's the thing, Hereditary is not going to be for everybody. Similar to The Exorcist, a lot of people may find this film to be too much for them. And that's totally fine. This whole experience of watching Hereditary could be a little too much for some viewers to stomach. But here's the thing, guys, that's the magic. All cinema, all fear, all things entertainment, that's all subjective. And that's part of why I love doing this. And that's why I love doing this with you guys. If you guys have seen Hereditary, do you guys love it? Do you not? I would love to hear all those thoughts down in the comments section below. And I would love to discuss them with you further. Because in my opinion, Hereditary is certainly a film worth discussion for years to come. A masterpiece by Ari Aster. If you guys love horror like I do, I think Hereditary definitely deserves a shot if you've never seen it. And if you guys are enjoying this content, if you guys are enjoying this playlist, don't forget there are 2 more entries I'm going to be doing next weekend. If you guys would like to keep up to date with all this content, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. So that way you all can be the first ones to know as soon as any new videos hit the channel. And hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a big fat thumbs up on your way out. I'd really appreciate that as well. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning into the video. Thank you for tuning into this playlist if you've been watching the playlist. You guys are so awesome. Thank you all again for your support. Look out for more fun content coming to the channel very, very soon. And with all that being said, back talk, comments.